Hello and welcome everybody, I'm Joshino, and today we're talking about something that is rather overpowered currently in Paladins Battlegrounds, and this is mainly for the solo mode, but I think in duo it'll probably work as well, and that is Lex Retribution. Lex Retribution is just his normal ability, it's the one that lights up the bounty targets, but basically once you get into a certain proximity of an enemy, I think this can be changed with the card Keen Sight, which extends the distance, but basically, once you get close to somebody, they'll light up and be targeted. But if you go far enough away from them, that target will go away and it'll be reset. So when you see the next person, the target will light up again. So it's like an automatic radar for enemies wherever you go. And especially in solo mode, this means you can pretty much get the drop on people all of the time, and also avoid getting the drop on you. It does also help that at the start of the games it's pretty laggy at the moment, as there's 100 people. It sort of goes down towards the 90 to 85 mark, but in the first sort of minute, there is quite a bit of lag, so also being able to use in Pursuit the auto lock-on does help a little bit with taking people out in those early duels as well. Now, I don't know whether this will be patched out, because it seems that it's almost part of Lex's kit, and honestly, getting far enough away to reset this isn't very difficult at all, and something that you can do to increase this is get some Master Riding. I had Master Riding 3, and this was ridiculous, because whenever I'd seen someone on my bounty when it was lit up, but I couldn't actually see them physically on the map, I just run away, try to find another target. So I was running around the fish market side, I think it's called Harbour, at the very top of the map, and basically when I couldn't see somebody in the buildings or anywhere around with the red outline, so I couldn't see the actual physical model being lit up, I knew they were there, I just run away and start running around until I got the mark again on somebody else, or even the same target, and make sure that I could see them, because you can really take advantage of this radar. Also, if you get the Discovery Legend card drop for you, you're going to be happy as Larry with that extra damage on your Retribution targets and the massive cooldown, which I did have eventually in that match. I think I picked it up at least. Props to Swindy, who actually pointed this out on Twitter. I literally played a match after I saw his tweet saying Retribution was really good, and I went to play a match, and it was about 10 minutes, 20 minutes later, once I'd finished the match, I was like, yeah, that's actually pretty ridiculous. I'd literally gone from his tweet to trying it out and winning, and I actually did this with very low-level cards for Lex, mainly 4s, some 5s. I think some of my legendary cards were actually a little bit higher randomly, just because of the RNG of how the loot system works. So I didn't even necessarily need to be decked out for this to work well, because you always have the drop on people. And especially with the matchmaking at the moment, there's a lot of players that are newer to the game, and if you can take the first advantage and get the first shot off, you're probably going to win no matter what your skill level is, really. But you can probably see from the footage here that most people are surprised and they find it difficult to react, and especially at the start, which would have been at the start of the video, it was hard to react as well because of the lag, because it's a bit harder to react to the first shot because you don't know you've been shot until a bit later on. So this is pretty OP in Battlegrounds solo mode at the moment. I don't think it'll work that well as squads, just because it's very hard to just get the drop on people, because you'll have less of an advantage. Maybe if you pick one person off and your team is still there, then you'll be 4v3, but I don't know. Maybe as just having one Lex in a team, you've always got that radar going on so they can tell the rest of the team. If you're vocalized, if you're talking to each other, that's, I guess, a good option. The same with duo, you could take advantage of that because you always know where people are. But solo, definitely, this is pretty overpowered at the moment. Well, at least I think so. And maybe you should try it out too. I'm guessing that maybe after this video we'll see a lot more Lexes in the Battlegrounds mode. Or perhaps even just before it is patched out, because it might very well be. Also, I'm still looking forward to that announcement by Hi-Rez Chris. Hi-Rez Stu, the president of Hi-Rez, actually liked my tweet yesterday that responded to Hi-Rez Juju asking for bugs for Paladins Battlegrounds. And I made a joke saying, well, it seems you've accidentally made this unbound instead of bound. And he liked that comment, so maybe that's a little hint as to what's going to come a bit later on today. Although, like I've said, I don't necessarily think that level 4 of cards is enough, even for the normal bound mode, so the normal siege. So perhaps even just like capped at level 8 would be good in this Battlegrounds mode, or even perhaps having an RNG system, so you either get level 8s, level 10s, or level 6s, perhaps at the different rarities of the cards that you pick up. Could be an idea. Other people have talked about picking up cards, sort of duplicating them to level them up whilst you're in the match, but generally just making it so that the RNG and the difference in power level is contained within the match gameplay would, in my opinion, be a lot better than what it is currently. Anyway, what does everybody else think about this excellent setup to play Battlegrounds, and will you be trying him out on solo? Is there anything else as well that you've picked up on that is maybe a little bit overpowered just in the Paladins Battlegrounds mode? I do think that perhaps they'll look at this and maybe try to patch it, but I don't know how easy it'll be, because I think it's probably part of his just general mechanics in a normal match, and normal maps aren't big enough that you could just go off and reset it all the time like you can do in Battlegrounds, and there isn't that gap as well in a normal match where you just go off riding and just muck about. I know that Lex is definitely a very popular character in the game at the moment, and I mean, he's strong with several of his legendaries anyway, because he gets loads of damage bonus, and with his slide you go ridiculously fast too. I've struggled against some of the Lexes, I thought, just because they're hard to hit. So hopefully people will enjoy this video. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe for more of my content, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching, everybody. Joshino.